Hello, students. There's been a lot of confusion about Unit 4, so I kind of want to just give you a quick 4 or 5 minute summary of everything that you should know up to this point. So let's start right here with step 1. Basically, in 1776, we became the United States. We needed a government. A government is a way to make rules and control the people so there's order. Our first form of government was the Articles of Confederation. All you need to know was that was a form of government that didn't last very long. It lasted 12 years, and it didn't work very well. Step 2, we saw something called Shays' Rebellion. In Shays' Rebellion, it proved that this government was not very good. There was weaknesses, and a group of farmers almost took over the state of Massachusetts. Which leads us to step 3. 55 important men decided to come together. They met at something called a convention, basically a meeting. They sat down and they decided to create a new form of government. So, that new form of government, if you can see my screen, was called the Constitution. Now, the Constitution is going to be our new form of government. It still is alive today. It's what we still have as our form of governing the people, controlling people, making sure things are fair, making sure we have laws and rules. The next thing I want to talk about real quick is this idea of this word representation. Representation is a weird thing. Let's start with this. Do you think it's possible for every American to vote on every single law that could possibly happen? No. And in 1787, that was true too. You couldn't just ask people to vote on laws. There's just too many people, there's just too many laws that could possibly pass, right? So what did they do? They decided to choose people from each state to vote for them. That is called representation. If someone represents you, they represent what you want. Right? So, under the Constitution, they decided to use representation. Let us choose leaders from every state to go to Congress and make laws. Leads me to question number 4. What is Congress? Congress is simply the people who make the laws. Right? So, question 5. How do people end up there? Like, how do you end up with a representative in Congress? Well, in the first form of government, way back, that didn't work very well. It only lasted 12 years. They did it super easy. Every state gets one representative. 13 states, 13 representatives. Basically, 13 votes. You and me and your mom and your uncle weren't voting. We would choose a person from each state to go to Congress and vote for us. So, how do these people end up there? In the beginning, like I said, every state got one. Then they decided to do something a little bit better. Let's take a look at this presentation. Some people said we should do it based on population. Some people said, let's just keep it simple and give every state one representative. What did they decide to do? They decided to do both. Take a moment real quick and look at this image right here on the right. At the top, we see our new government, the Constitution, right? The Constitution gave us our new government. If you go to the left, you see this building. This building is Congress. Congress makes laws. If you see that weird word legislative, just don't worry about that for now. Congress makes laws. But how do we choose who gets to go there and vote? They decided to split it into 2 different groups. In the following video, after this, I'm going to show you what those 2 groups are, how they decided who gets to go and vote, and what they can do.